Hey everyone, Daniel from TwinBytes with another quick tutorial for you. This time I'm going to show you how to change or set security permissions in Share on a folder that you want to either set up as a brand new share or modify an existing share's permissions to gain access to on a network. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use this folder as an example, go into the properties of it, and there's two tabs to be aware of. There's the sharing tab and there's the security tab. First we need to make sure it's shared, and currently it shows that it is not shared. You can either share it through this button or this button. Typically, I think a lot of people even will go through share, and it's very simple this way. You can see the current user is listed here and they're the owner by default, and then you can choose any other users, or if you want even to add everyone, which is typically what we would do, and hit add and make sure everyone permission level is read and write. So if they're set to read only and you try and set it to read write in the security permissions, it's not going to matter because they will still be limited to read access from the share. So it's best to allow everyone for read write. Maybe best isn't the best word. It is easier to set everyone to read write and then control the security permissions from the security tab. If you want to do it all from here, you got to make sure it's done correctly, and this is a little bit tighter security, listing each group or user one by one and specifying if they're read or read write. So we'll hit share. The folder is now shared and it tells you the path of where it's located, so you can share that path with people. You can even have a link right here. It says you can email someone the link or copy and paste it into another app and share it that way. But you can always just write it down and type it in. So it shows now that the folder is shared and where it is shared. If we want to look at the advanced sharing, it shows here that it's already checked off to share the folder, and it's got the name of the folder, and you could add other share names if you wanted to. This here shows the limit of how many users can be connected at the same time, and it's defaulting to 20, but really on a peer-to-peer network, which is basically a bunch of workstations without a server, you're limited to 10 user connections at one time. If you want to have more than that, you'd have to have a server set up. Here you can go into permissions and you can control the permissions from here a little bit more than before. We had just the read or read write, which includes change, but if you want to allow full control, you can also turn that on here. But usually for permissions, like I said, most people will have everyone set to full control just for simplicity. So we'll just leave all that, so you can tell that all we had to do was go into share and set everyone. Now the next part is going into the security. So from here you can set the users. It's got authenticated users by default, which gives you all the read, write, and modify except for full control. So only the administrator or the person who set it up would typically have full control. But in this case here, we've only got the administrator listed. We don't have the actual user showing that it's added in here as an authenticated user. So we can have the administrator, of course. We want to leave that. Authenticated users, maybe we want to have finer control over this. So you can go to edit and you want to remove a lot of these here. So we don't want to have everyone with full control, and we don't want the system in here. Maybe for backups you might want to leave the system, but we've got the administrator having full control, and then one of our users, maybe we'll say they have access to the files to read, write, and modify, but not full control. So we can apply that, and then you can see when you highlight them here, it shows full control for this administrator and all access except full control for this user. And the full control basically means that they can do all of these things, plus they can manage the permissions for other users on here. So that's why typically only the administrator would have all the check marks on here. Under advanced, there's a few more things here that you can do. It lists the same users, but there is a feature of inheriting. So if we wanted to inherit the permissions from the folder above, you would click Enable Inheritance, and it would inherit all the permissions from above, which would take away everything we just did. But if you're doing a subfolder, it would have the enable on. So we'd have to disable inheritance before we can make any changes. So also, if you want to modify these changes throughout all the subfolders and files underneath this folder, then you would click on here to replace all the child object permission entries with the ones that you have in this folder. So it will take all those permissions and pass them down. Then we would just hit OK. This will replace all the permissions on the descendant, so all the subfolders and subfiles. So yep, and then it goes ahead and does that. So that's basically it for setting the permissions. So if you have any kind of problems with the permissions on here, you can go in here, add the specific user. You'd have to make sure you got the username passwords that are matched up. If you're on a server, it should be doing it all automatically with the password management. But if it's a workstation, then you have to have the same username and password spelled the same way on the workstation and on the computer that's acting as the server for this to work. And if you're still having issues, you can go back to the sharing, go under the advanced sharing, and check the permissions here and make sure that everyone is set to full control allowed. And then you should be okay. So that's it for this quick tutorial. I hope you guys did find it helpful. And if you did, please do give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much. Bye for now.